So if we look at the vasculature of the large intestine, we can see that the large intestine is really important. It's what is known as a watershed organ. It has a contribution from two main branches of the abdominal aorta. So we can see that the arterial supply to the large intestine comes from the superior and the inferior mesenteric arteries. Here we can see we have the superior mesenteric artery coming from about L1 from the abdominal aorta, and here we can see we have the inferior mesenteric artery coming from about L3. So LM, superior mesenteric artery comes from L1, and the inferior mesenteric artery comes from about L3. We'll explore these in a bit more detail in a later session, a later lecture. Essentially, coming from these mesenteric arteries, your superior and your inferior mesenteric artery, are a series of colic arteries. Your ileocolic, which heads towards the ileocecal junction, your right colic, middle colic, left colic. And these all branch away, ileocolic, right colic, middle colic. And we'll see they're passing away from their respective stem, the superior mesenteric artery in this case, or the left colic artery here from the inferior mesenteric artery. We have sigmoid arteries coming down towards the sigmoid colon. These are spreading out and fanning out towards the transverse, ascending, transverse, descending and sigmoid parts of the large intestine. We can see here we have a very important anastomosis. We have a continuation of the superior mesenteric artery and the inferior mesenteric artery. So blood will be coming in this direction from the superior mesenteric artery, and blood will be coming in this direction from the inferior mesenteric artery. So what we have is this region around here in this upper left quadrant by the spleen. We have a transition where this region is supplied by both the superior and the inferior mesenteric artery. And this is really important. It forms what's known as the marginal artery, which runs around this aspect, this upper left quadrant by the spleen of the large intestine. And it's important if the inferior mesenteric artery was to be occluded. So we can imagine that if the inferior mesenteric artery was occluded due to atherosclerosis in the region near the inferior mesenteric artery, then blood wouldn't be able to pass towards this descending sigmoid parts of the colon. However, the presence of this marginal artery means that blood can actually route itself around in this direction, via the superior mesenteric artery, via the middle colic artery, and then being continuous with branches of the left colic. So there wouldn't be any serious deficit if there was a block. We'll explore this in later lectures in a bit more detail.